Spooky. How's it going? Happy Thursday. Welcome to Party Wipe, episode 2. Episode 22. We're making a roguelike deck builder where you draft your own RPG party. How's it going, y'all? Yeah, what is this song? No thanks. Let's get the radio locked in here. Here we go. Hey, Nix. Thanks for the hydrate. Hey, Lost Sleep Games. The 3-month sub on a 3-month streak. Nice. Very nice. Got that silver badge. How's it going? How's it going, everyone? I'm still finishing my breakfast, so apologies. We're working on Party Wipe. Still haven't written my schedule for the next 11 weeks. We've got a few deadlines coming up in about... Double check the calendar here. We got about 7 weeks until my first in-person playtesting event, which will be a small kind of single day kind of thing. And then I got another much bigger playtesting setup lined up 4 weeks from then. And hopefully somewhere between those two, we'll get the build up for everyone to play online here in like early access on itch. So yeah, 2 to 3 months until people are going to be playing this, you know? It's not a lot of time. Not a lot of time. But we're going. We're cooking. Remember how I said I wasn't going to do any more refactors? Well, yesterday I kind of absolutely started... I'm going to call it a reorganization to save face. I'm going to call it a reorganization. Hey, no, Joel. How's it going? I basically rethought the structure of the scenes, because I had been working on what I would call like a sandbox, like just one scene by itself, totally removed from everything. And that's not exactly what we wanted. It's not exactly what we wanted. I've rethought some of the structure. So laggy when I first opened the project. I think it's all the various weird tool scripts spinning up. So I've rethought the order a little bit, and I want to build it out so that it's actually structured in the way it's going to be used, not this hypothetical sandbox environment. I want to structure it out so it's actually, you know, the experience that someone has starting out the game, opening up the game. We'll skip things like the menu for now. We'll just go straight into like a run. But I wanted to split things off, so I've created like a run manager. I'm going to call all of these, I don't know what you want to call these kinds of nodes, but these kind of scene root nodes, I'm going to refer to them as managers. It kind of helps me to think about how they work. So I've split it out so that we have the run related stuff separate. So if you start a new run, we can just reload that whole run. You know, we can just load up a new run, and you'll store some stuff that's higher up than the run, like your card pool, things like that. Stuff that's like meta progression stuff will hold at a higher level, which will be managed by the game manager here. I got a little node icon pack that I'm enjoying using. And so we got to kind of propagate that down and split these up into the different components. Like, I want to be able to swap out maps pretty easily and retain things like the party. So I've kind of thought of an order. Let me grab my little sticky note here. Thought of an order I want to nest these things in. How's it going? I see you, Hojurek, over on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? Tomorrow is a holiday. Tomorrow is a holiday out here. Well, it's an observed holiday, which means the holiday is actually on Saturday, but people that work regular, you know, jobs get upset when holidays are on Saturdays because they don't get an extra day off work. So tomorrow is an observed holiday, which is nice. I think we're going to have a big stream. I think we're going to do a double just to make up for last Friday. I missed last Friday's stream, and I didn't make up for it yet, so we're going to work on it now. So nothing's working right now, and we're just going to put things back together. So at the top, we have this game manager. This was kind of annoying to set up. I wanted to set up a card manager that was a global that could be easily accessed instead of having to pass it around. And it was actually kind of annoying to do because if the global's a tool script, because this is also a tool script, because I actually want to do some edits at runtime. Like I want to reload card data from files. Kind of annoying to set up, but we got it going. So now the card pool will regenerate. It'll reload. If we run in the editor, it will refill the card pool from the card manager. So it'll figure out, here are all the cards. It'll store it here on the game just so we have a consistent thing. And then when we actually run the game, normally it will feed that card pool to the card manager. So now we can at least access our cards anywhere in the game, which is nice. That should have been easier than it was. And we do things like we instantiate our run manager. Actually, why do we do this? Why do we do this? I did this so that I could feed information to the manager, but we don't actually need to do this anymore. I was thinking I might have to cascade things down, which would require like a kind of more manual process, but we can actually just put the run manager right in here. So this scene becomes very simple because the game, right now it just has a run, but normally the game would open the main menu and we'd get to do all these things and it would have all of this stuff. And when we start a run, we'll load up this run manager. Actually, I guess I don't want the run manager to be in the scene because I want to create it, but for right now, it's probably okay to leave it there. I don't know. Well, whatever. Let's roll back what I just did. Let's add it because then we can at least add it when we need it and not just start with it once we inject like a main menu or anything in there. So we'll just keep it like it is. Doesn't really matter. Most of the stuff is down in this run scene now. I kind of just copied it all over, so we need to continue moving things down. So I have an environment manager that I want to hold on to. So you want to be able to store things in the runs outside of the environment, things like the party wants to be outside of the environment. I think this is going to be, technically this should be inside. We'll have to leave it out here. We're going to do a lot more explicit signaling up so that there's very little tight coupling between things. So like before, everyone needed to know where the draw and the discard and the trash piles were so that they could send cards there. I'm going to change it so that they just signal that they have a card that they need to send to the draw pile or to the discard or something like that, you know. We're going to swap it out to work more like that. So like the battle map layer, I think we're going to work on. The battle map layer is all the tile-based stuff here. I want to change this a little bit too. Because there is an environment here. And I think the environment is the one that's going to hold all of this stuff. But there's also going to be encounters. And I think the encounter is going to be the thing that drives like... So you could have the same environment and you could have different encounters in the same environment. Mainly because I don't know how many environments I'm gonna be able to make, especially early on. So I want to do that. And so I'm just kind of deciding how to nest all of this stuff. I wanted the opposition to be down here too, but for UI reasons, I don't know if I can do that. Why does the enemy roster need to be here? I don't think it does. So yeah, there isn't always going to be an enemy roster. Like if you're in an environment that's a shop, you won't run into an enemy. You'll run into some like neutral people. So yeah, I think I do want to nest it down in there. And then there's the question is, how much do we want to put in here? So yeah, today is gonna be me fiddling with architecture. I didn't want to do it. But I think if I'm gonna really focus on building the game in a way that's usable and not mess around with sandboxes and editors and stuff like that. I think I need to build it to be oriented around that. To be usable, to actually be the game that people are going to play and not just like a test bed of things. I hate doing that. I always end up starting out that way. You think you need to refactor? Subgame is very prototype-ish right now. The code base is starting to slow you down. Yeah, the slowdown is the problem. The slowdown is the problem for sure. And that's what you need to weigh, right? So right now the battle map is literally the tile map that has all of this stuff in it. I don't want that to be the case anymore. But the battle map does manage a lot of things, and it uses its tile map layer stuff. So maybe it does. Maybe the battle map layer is the environment, and the environment manager loads in different environments. And then that environment loads in different encounters. And then it's just a question of who drives what. Hey, Rhiannon. Thanks for stopping by. We're having more of a struggle day again. I'm reorganizing things. I said I wasn't going to do it, but we have to. There's no real way around it. So we're doing some reorganization. Right now, I'm just kind of looking to see where I'm dependent on tile map layer functions here. And it's a lot. I'm also thinking about redoing some of this marker stuff as something I can auto tile. I might work on that. Instead of just having like a big image here that's like it's locked to this size. I think it's useful because I'm gonna need to be able to draw grids around characters to express different things like attack range, movement range, stuff like that. I also made an input manager. You need to set up a scene manager. It's so hard when you have multiple levels to switch between yet. Yeah. Yeah. It's easy to skip around. Oh, you're getting banned. Not you, LSG. Why didn't that delete their message? That's weird. But yeah, I think I'm going to set up that. Also, if items modify ranges, something dynamic makes sense. That's a great reason, no Joel. That's a great reason. Yeah, I've been agonizing over control methods, control schemes. Right now I have it click to select, and then you can see an arrow for moving around and stuff. And I realize that that's totally the opposite of how cards work right now. Cards currently need to be clicked and dragged into position. And I honestly think I should probably rethink the figurine movement, the character figure movement and action stuff to work the same way, so that you click and drag the character to move them around the map. And then you can click and drag, like if you pick an item like a sword or something that your guys got, maybe we can bring the token back and you can click and drag the token over so you can see like where you're applying the things. And then if it's an ability, like if it's a fireball, it'd be cool if you could click and drag the fireball icon off of your character and then place it somewhere and you could see the range of what that fireball would be. Stuff like that. We could use yellow for movement and red for attack to be within our UI color scheme. I think I'm going to do that. And so what I want to do is I want to set up like a command pattern, like input queue. So I need to signal up commands up to like an input manager, and then the input manager can like send them back down. Because it's a turn-based game, and it's card-based. And we need a very strong undo redo, just very simple action queue thing where we can just step back or step forward. And there will be gates. Like once you end a turn, you're not going to be able to undo back that turn. But I want you to be able to try stuff. So I want you to be able to play something and then call it back. But that adds a level of indirection to everything, which is fine. It just means I need to be more... We need a little more process. We need a little bit more process. I do want to just kind of YOLO out the code and just make stuff happen, but that's going to hurt me. That's going to hurt me later. So we're going to work on it. We're going to work on like an input manager. Yeah, that's a good point about the ranges. I don't know what I want to dig into right now. I'm having a very low energy week here, but progress must be made. We'll probably work on that, what we were just talking about. Doing like a... I should probably focus on making the game working again. I want to work on what we were talking about with the art, but I'm going to do good. We're going to do good. We're going to get the game playable again. Oh, playable is a strong word, but we're going to finish this architectural change. So we start with the game manager. The game manager, I've set them up to know where the card sets are, so we can swap out card sets. Right now they're locked to particular kinds of cards, but I might loosen that up so that you can just have a single CSV file that's like all the cards you want. But you could also then just add supplemental ones. Right now I've limited it so just so that the spreadsheets aren't incredibly sparse. But I might change that. So when the game launches right now, since there's no menu, there's no interstitial like main menu to go to first. It's just going to add a run. It's going to create a run. And then the run is going to be responsible for everything else. So the run has like a deck manager. It's going to manage all the card deck stuff. It'll start with an environment manager. The environment manager is, I think, the thing I really need to flesh out, because all of this card UI stuff, I think, is pretty locked. I think this is pretty well established. The enemy roster, I kind of want to move. Kind of want to move this down a ways. I'll make a scene for it. Actually, we're going to rename some of this stuff, too. I think I'm not going to call it enemy. I think I'm going to call it, like, opposition or something. Maybe I'll leave it as enemy. We're going to interpret opposition literally, because all of the NPC sprites face from right to left, and all the player sprites face from left to right. So there does need to be like a party manager sort of deal. And I guess it's this, because it's this control node. Why are you here in the order? Oh, because you need to be in this layer. Hey, David. Coolness? Not yet. Not yet. Hopefully soon. Move some of this down. Hey, Nix. You worked over 22 hours in the last 2 days? Jeez. That sounds rough. I don't know why party manager extends unit manager. Oh, I guess I do. I guess I do. I guess I do know why. This isn't going to be here anymore, I don't think. Well, maybe it does need to be here. You're gonna try to sleep now? All right, take it easy, Nix. Have a good weekend. Fleur the bird, are we winning? We're doing our best. I don't think I need this to be on this layer. So we're just going to save this out as a branch and deal with it later. Probably leave it here for now. But I want to move the opposition down. Below the encounter. Hey, Sapphire on a 145 stream streak. Incredible. Floating by. Thanks, Sapphire. Appreciate that. And now I'm thinking I could just make this, I could make this more simple. Like I can make it a thing. It doesn't need to be the manager doesn't need to be here. But maybe it should be. I think I like it to be here. I'm worried about the UI layering, which is why I've had to put everything in these different canvas layers. Because the cards especially are very hard to predict in terms of their Z level, because they're constantly, it's based on all sorts of crazy stuff, like where the card is coming from, where it's going to. If it's a card pile, it's actually based on how many cards are in the pile. It's crazy. It's madness, and the only way I've been able to like rein it in is to like use canvas layers to split it out, but I'm worried about the effect that's gonna have on this stuff. It's probably fine though. I probably don't need this to be here. Probably move it over to like here. It needs to be above the playmat. That's all it really needs to be. Enjoy the Z-Order nightmare that is card games. Yeah, we're just avoiding it by grouping things into these canvas layers. So cards coming out of and being played as part of a hand are always on top of everything else. And then cards that are in piles are just always at the bottom of everything. So yeah, we're managing, but yeah, it was definitely more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Do I want to move these out of here? Why do I have these above the buttons and stuff? Why do I have them as part of the middle layer? That's really my question. I can't think of a good reason, so I'm going to move them. I do need them to be above the environment manager, though. I'm going to leave it up here. I'm going to leave it up here, and what's just going to happen is we'll just signal up if the encounter needs to populate the opposition with things. We'll just signal up to it. I was going to put it lower down because the opposition is really determined by the encounter. But for UI reasons, I think I need to keep it up here. Will your first demo be a web build? Yes. This game will be available in web build probably up until the Steam demo is live, which will be like the end of the year. So I'm hoping to get like a few months maybe from like mid to late September to mid-September to like mid-December. The game will hopefully be available on itch as a web build, and we can get a lot of feedback and stuff before we put the Steam demo up. I think I probably will I'll either deprecate it so that the alpha version just stops getting updates, but maybe I'll just leave the alpha version up. And the alpha version will just be the same as the Steam demo when the Steam demo comes out, and I'll just stop working on the alpha version. And then they'll start to diverge after that point. I don't really want to make it unavailable. I don't know. But yeah, making a web build is super crucial to me, at least early on. We might have to compromise on some stuff, some features. But that's fine, because I don't think people are going to expect a lot of features in an alpha web build. we can use some... I've learned, well, I say learned. I've become aware of some of the stuff that I could do to save people's runs in the web browser. So they could at least, you don't have to like finish a whole run in like one sitting. You could like stop and come back and things like that. But it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky. We're going to have to constrain a lot of things to be able to manage based on the requirements, the limitations of an itch web build. So we're going to save this as a scene. Give everyone scripts. Did I make these classes? I guess I have. I've liked putting little custom node icons on things, so we're gonna waste time and do that. I'm just really low energy today. I really need this holiday weekend. So we're just messing around today. Not the best use of my time, but we'll get there. We'll get there. What do I want? I want like an orb. Is there like Earth or something? An Earth icon? That would be good. Found this fun little add-on that has tons of little custom icon things. I like it a lot. Makes it just nice to look at the scene tree. Okay, there is no Earth. Maybe it's down under planet. Ground could be okay. It's a little weird. Location. That's not bad. Oh, I kind of like this. I kind of like this layers icon. I might use this. Very dramatic music we got going on. Looking for a good icon for the party. I'm not seeing it. This is such a stupid way to use my time, but you know, I am in charge. I am the captain. I just wanted like a person. Oh, human. Here we go. But it's not supposed to be the blue one. It should be the green one. This is neat. I like this. This is the at icons plugin. Just makes the scene tree just nicer. And none of it goes into the actual project anyway. Like, just a stupid little quality of life thing. It's not even quality of life. It's just what I wanted to do. So we got a human here, and we'll put a skeleton down here. Gonna be adding that to your project. Yeah, it's kind of neat, especially if you like making a lot of custom stuff. It's super stupid, but we can reload this scene. Once I scroll all the way up here and I can close this. That was dumb. And now I got all these cute little icons. I think it's kind of dumb. I'll probably change this one. I don't like this one now that I see it, actually. I'll do this one instead. I grabbed the wrong one. Oh, I'm so dumb. How am I this dumb? Why is this what I choose to do? It's because I'm tired and I don't have exactly 100% of an idea of what we're doing next. This is the problem of not writing that schedule. I'm gonna work on it tonight. Hopefully we can look at it tomorrow. But I think reorganizing this is pretty crucial for the long-term health of everything. Do I need to group these in anything? I don't think so. So here's the key managers that we're going to have. There's a deck manager that's going to manage all the card stuff. There's an environment manager that will handle the physical, all the Node 2D environmental stuff for us. It'll handle loading environments. It'll handle loading encounters. It'll handle all that. It'll handle all of the interactions on the board. And it will just signal up anything that happens there, and it can be consumed by others. We might not signal all the way up to run manager. We might signal up and then just hook it up with, because the thing that's really hard and the thing that can get out of hand very quickly in Godot is if you do a lot of communicating, especially if it's like hard references, like you have specific references to specific nodes, that all works well within one scene. Especially if the things in the scene don't change. Like they don't die and or respawn or anything. All of that stuff works great. You can do stuff like unique node hookups and things, and it's all fine. And it quickly gets not fine once you start interacting with things outside of your scene. Either things above you in like a parent scene or whatever, or things parallel to you in one of your peers, one of your siblings' scenes. It all starts to fall apart. So we're going to use more like signals and stuff to have and handle all of that. And it should be better. It should be nicer. So I think all of this is fine. The party manager I don't think is actually going to change very much right now. I think that's all pretty good. The opposition manager is not really used currently. The environment manager is, I think, where most of these changes need to be made to reorganize this stuff. So right now it's just chilling with just the whole battle map layer in here, which I think is wrong. LSG, you have a lot of things that extend rigid body 3D, so it's nice for them to have some different icons. Yeah, that's a great example. Okay, I'm so sorry. I finished my breakfast. I'm done eating. I'm done eating on stream. I know this is a quiet one. I know this week has been a quiet series. I'm still steeling myself for task ahead. It's a lot. The day job has been a lot. This is a lot. But we're committed. It's just a matter of setting this up in a way that's manageable. All right. So what we need to do now... The environment manager is going to need to be a signal chainer, huh? Because we're going to need to bubble up things to here and then communicate them further up. That's okay. Oh, did I change? Yeah, okay, it is Y-sort enabled. Actually, do I want the environment manager to be Y-sort enabled? Or do I want to actually... I actually don't want it to be Y-sort enabled. could do that at the scene level. Because the battle map layer doesn't Y-sort. I don't think. No, it doesn't. Some areas within here Y-sort, but not all the way up there. So we want to change that. Let's save that. See this. Save that. If you find yourself getting less and less tolerant of the day job, just hoping you can hang on long enough to make something happen. That's the dream. That's the dream. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. I really don't like this gray script thing, this gray script icon. I know it's a script that's associated with a node, and that's why it's loaded, but it only did it in some cases, and I don't want to rebuild everything. I almost want to just manually do this stuff. We'll create a new, well, it shouldn't create a new. We should be able to find you. You're in here. That change you to not be gray anymore? Nope. Yeah, I don't like this. This annoys me. This annoys me. I'm gonna just ignore it. Thought I'd be able to fix it. We're not gonna be bothered by it though. We're not gonna be bothered by it. It's such a minor thing. All right, environment manager, battle map layer. So we have to reconcile these two. Battle map layer has been handling all of this stuff. And the battle map layer has a cool name. But we're going to change it a little bit. Okay, so yeah, the battle map layer doesn't know about the party roster anymore, and now it can't know about the party roster. So delete that, see what the consequences of that are. Comp characters, array, string name, party roster, find compatible equipment wielders. Okay, so yeah, we can't do this anymore. We can't do this anymore this way. We have to do this some other way. On player hand card dragged. This section is going to have to be handled as a call down from above. Since these two aren't really peers anymore. Unless we just reorganize some of this to be on the environment layer. That's possible. That's probably what we'll do, actually, because the only person that's going to be able to listen to this signal is the environment layer. So we're probably going to recreate most of this functionality there. I really want to move away from this, just do everything in process. Just listen for inputs and do things in process and just mess around. I don't want to do that. I think the input handler is going to help with that, because the input handler is going to take actions and make them real. They're going to take interactions and make them real things. We'll still need to monitor some stuff, but not as much. Not as much as I thought we were going to need to do. And we can probably figure out some better ways to do that anyway. Okay. Okay, so I think the first thing we're going to do is change the way the battle map is here. Right now, it's offset so that the 0th tile is after the wall here. I think I'm going to make the 0th tile just the corner here. And we'll specify the full range, the full boundary of the usable area. Actually, no, we need to be able to interact with this whole range, huh? Because we decided that what we're going to do for like redeploys or reinforcements, we're going to have doors along these walls. Or if they aren't walls, if like we're in a forest and it's forest, we'll have like a break in the trees or something, a clearing. And that's where we'll deploy reinforced units. And normally you won't be able to like get over there. But that's where you'll deploy like heroes that you're spawning in after the deployment phase. Reinforcements, they'll have to come from one of the doorways on the environment, like an entry point, which would be cool because some of the entry points could be on the enemy deployment area. So you could deploy a unit behind enemy lines if you hold on to them. And then they'll just sit there and they'll wait for the current round of combat to end, and then they'll probably go. Probably at the top of the turn. Something like that. But yeah, I see how we're going to do this. This will be okay. So I think I'm going to make a new, just for simplicity's sake. We're going to have like an environment map. I'll make it here. Well, maybe I'll make it here. Call it an environment map. We'll give it battle map tile set. I'm going to rename that. ENV tile set. And can I just copy this over? Is that something the game's going to let me do? Yes, it will. Sick. And we can delete it here. Whoa. Just delete all this. And this way, we can load in new maps without messing everything up. I guess everything else should be underneath the map. Oh, maybe I should have made it here. Maybe this should have been the environment map. Because everything else is pretty much in the environment map, isn't it? Oh, let's do that instead of whatever I just did. I don't think this is going to have all of the scripts, though. think I'll have some of them, not all of them. So the environment manager can load different environment maps. It gives it some stability. And most of the fun stuff will happen in here. Actually, don't know if this needs to have a class name. I don't know if there's going to be more than one of these. Or a way to refer to these otherwise. Yeah, maybe this doesn't need a class name. All right, you have a script. You have a script. Trimming down my names, the name lengths I'm using, because it's just getting too long. Everything's just getting too long. So the one annoying thing about GDScript is when when the names are too long, it's just like impossible to read your code. What happened to your icon? Oh, it's because I probably read. Okay, I like this. I think this is going to work out. I still don't love that I have these all separate in their own layers. It's kind of gross, but makes it easier. The thing that's going to still annoy me is the same thing that annoyed me about my FTL like with my editor, which was that you need to have like a preview. You need to be able to preview things that are happening before they happen, before you commit to it, and it creates this kind of parallel need for a lot of different things. You need a way of represent something that's might happen but hasn't happened yet. Why do you need to know the path grid? You don't use it. Weird. So if I just load these. This, is it no longer gray? Nope, it's still gray. Okay, yeah. I'm annoyed. Funny how the smallest things like that can just annoy me. Stuff in a new folder. So the tile outlines tile set is different than a different tile set. I swear there was another tile set. Environment, tile set, tile outlines, tile set. We'll just call it outlines tile set. All right, so we're going to need a signal chain a bit if we want to get information up and out of here. So I need to figure out how we split the battle map's functionality across the environment manager and the environment map. There's going to be a little bit more indirection here. That's okay. Appreciate those of you who are still here for hanging out with me on what I know is a pretty dull stream. Reorganization is not fun. And it's not exciting. It's definitely not sexy. Alright, so what do we need? I'm just going to start disabling things and look at what we need. Alright, so you need to set the ID path. So I have to decide how I want to handle this. I think what I want to do is I want to give the environment an area. The environment map an area. Like an area 2D. Did I make a map shape? I made a tile shape, not a map shape. This will just be a one-off then. Set this like this. This way we can at least constrain when we are listening for input. The only real question is whether this is going to interfere with anyone else. And the only other question is this mouse is just mouse only here. I guess the answer is yes. What we really need is like a cursor object that the mouse drives so that we can substitute in a joystick or something as an alternative. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. I don't like listening for a cursor, but it's actually not that bad because it's almost totally aesthetic. Because the way we're going to do the input handler thing, we will record inputs and then figure out what to do with them, and we hopefully don't need to do very much in process. I like having things be based on signals and stuff like that. I like discrete actions. I really don't like just monitoring every frame for something. If that wasn't clear by me ranting about it for, a while. When environment area mouse entered, sure. When environment area mouse exited. Variable. Mouse entered. Bool. It's as simple as possible. And I don't actually want anyone to ever query this. I want this stuff to just only be in here. So we're going to get the process function. We don't need to know the delta. And this is where we're going to just do the basic, like, showing mouse cursor movement kind of stuff. This is just where we're going to do this part. All right, so which of these do we need to still know about? We'll continue to call this tile outlines. Get rid of almost all of these. Character figs will keep. I kind of want to rename card tokens to like tile tokens or something. Because I want to use them beyond just the context of cards. We were talking about it earlier where it'd be cool if you could see your ability token. Like you could literally drag your fireball off of your wizard and like place it somewhere and watch it, do its thing. And then we would use a token for that, but not a card token. So maybe we would need two different kinds of tokens, and I'll just give them a parent class or something. Because card token knows what card it is. So yeah, I guess we will need more than one. Although I don't necessarily need to put them in different places. Maybe we do. Maybe we do it anyway. Also, calling these character figures isn't great unless I also want to store the enemies somewhere else. Let's keep drinking this coffee before this coffee gets cold. All right, so let's limit ourselves to just setting up the appearance of things. Oh, we do want to set this, actually. The environment map should know where the cursor is. These we do want to know. And we want these to be accessible. Do I put them after the so-called private variables? Yeah, why not? I know GDScript doesn't make the distinction, but I do. All right, so if card is dragged, we don't want to do any of this. That's a good point. Does that affect anything else for us? Do we use card dragged anywhere else? Not really, but that does still mean we need to know it. Okay. Say is mouse entered. Is card dragged. Actually, do we want to know the card that's been dragged? Maybe. Strong maybe. Strong maybe on this one here. We're definitely going back more towards the model of having a bit more orchestration from the top and a little bit less like just competitive chaos in the middle of just like peers signaling and asking each other about things and directly referring to each other. There's going to be a little bit more up and down, and that's okay. I think that's going to be okay. I think that's going to help in the long run. I know I give a different answer every day. So we just care about whether card is being dragged. Do we need to know what the card is? We do if we want to do anything with it. Yeah, I don't see a way out of this. Love this song. Okay, we definitely do want to know what card is being dragged. Actually, people might want to know about mouse entered as well, I guess. Oh. This goes here. It will say if card dragged, maybe we do some stuff. I think we're going to end up having to do some stuff. We also want to know about whether a character has been dragged. Excuse me. Character dragged. Character fixed. Else. I'm just gonna grab all of this. I'm gonna grab this whole process function and we'll whittle it down. So I think some of this we don't want to do here, but I think a lot of it we do. What? No. Why is it this upset? Oh, is it just nothing is defined? It's very likely. All right, let's go through them one by one. This one should be fine. Card res, card drag dot card data. Again, did I not? Oh, I've hidden it. Well, this is easy to fix. Place all. Coming back to a million errors. That's how we organize. I like errors. I wish this engine told me about more errors. That's why statically typed languages are so nice to work in. That's why JavaScript is such hell. Yeah, the great refactoring. We're calling it reorganizing. We're not using the RF word. How's it going, No Joel? All right, right now I've got if deployment marked, but I don't think that's how we're gonna do this. So maybe we're not gonna worry about this branch for right now. This branch needs some thought, but we can worry about the non-card drag branch. Oh, and look at that. That just kind of works. We don't know about this, though. Or this. Still don't know what to do about that except to just mark it like that. Yeah, Yeah, certainly not LSG. It's very funny. All right, let's worry about that can of worms later. Just pass for now. Okay, now it's with the errors. I was like, Map bounds. We don't know map bounds, do we? It's probably an export variable. What's wrong with you? Oh. Hey, Fusionist, you caught me today. How's it going? Oh, we're not going to do it. We'll do an export variable. We'll do it as a rect 2i, which the system is going to be upset about. If is cursor in bounds. Oh, yeah, we had a utility function, didn't we? I guess I want that to maybe be public. What's up today? We're doing some reorganization. I thought about how I wanted to structure everything a little more clearly, and we're just fixing some stuff to make that happen. Kind of slow day. More red, you see? Good. Red is good. Red is good. Red is better than not red. We were just talking about how statically typed languages are just better because they show you all the red. You don't have to wait until you hit some weird runtime exception, which you could have predicted at compile time if you weren't using, JavaScript or whatever. You've been in that red for a while too. Yeah, it's fine. Red is good. Not red. Not red is bad. Not red is bad, especially if you're expecting red. All right, so the map bounds, we've changed the map bounds. The map bounds is now 0. Oh, it's not going to show me the export variable until I figure out the rest of the compile errors. What does our comparison look like here? But yeah, what are you up to? Doing any jams? I can't remember if you're the one that's like, I'm doing Little Doctor Game jam. Or whatever, there's lots of good stuff going on. You pretty much always try to approach refactors in a way that makes every error show up on the error list. Exactly. That's how you do a refactor, is you rip something out, see everything that fails, and then fix it. Why is this upset? Did I change this accidentally? Oh, yeah, I ripped some things out of here that I didn't want to do. Put that back in. This will still fail, but I'd rather... I was just saying how I prefer the compile errors, but I need this thing to compile first. Because this is not the file we're working on. It's the file we're adapting from. All right. Direct 2s have a built-in within bounds check. I think they do. I think they do. Encloses. Yeah. You can also ask has point, which is interesting. I think encloses is what we want. Oh no, that's for another. We want has point. Oh, I hate this. I hate this so much. I forgot that I hate how rect 2i's work. We're not using rect 2i's. We're just going to use vector 4. Rect 2i's are the worst. Actually, we start at 0, so we can still just use a vector 2 for this. And I'm gonna not call it bounds. I'm gonna call it like map extent, because all we need to track is the max extent, because we know it starts at 0. I guess we could say size. We could say map size. Oh, we just check cursor. Should we just say is point in bounds? Vector 2i point. You're on a friend's low stakes jam. You haven't done anything for it yet, though? That sounds pretty good. That sounds low stakes. There's a bit of an idea right now. You're focused on the engine stuff you mentioned a while back. Yeah, your engine stuff looks great. It does seem endless. It's one of those things you could work on forever, right? Tim Kaine released a video about code standards, mentioned how he's on team errors. The errors versus warnings debate. Oh, yeah, yeah. You have a bit of a contradicting stance since you quote Romero's always fix bugs line as often as you say graceful execution. I think there's a very simple dividing line there, which is if you're in debug mode, like if it's not released, if you're in debug mode, like it's the debug version of the project or whatever, everything should error. Everything should like hard stop error. Like and print out some crazy debug and like you should figure it out. But if you're in release mode, I think graceful failure is fine. Like the public build would probably be better served by graceful failure than a delete every and then a fail on any error issue, whatever. The errors versus warnings thing is more interesting when teams are involved. Yeah. I mean, everything is more challenging. You said interesting. I'm going to say challenging when teams are involved. What's this bounds thing? Map size? Should it be less than? Yeah, less than. Expected a closing parentheses after function parameters. Oh, that's me not knowing how to declare parameters. Oh, did I change this? Why would we be interested in that? Let me go back up here. I don't actually think I want to track it via mouse entered forever, but for a while at least. So we'll say is point in bounds. Oh, I guess you want to be able to specify the bounds. Point. So we'd say cursor map, and we'd say, well, we'd say vector 4i. I guess I could say rect 2i in this case. Rect 2i. We would say vector 2i dot 0, or I could just say vector 2i 0 0, but we'll say this, and then we'll say map size. Card dropped, not something we have here. Let's add that. Bounds. Rect 2i. I guess I don't really need a function for this. I would just say return bounds.has point. This is actually wordier than just doing this, but whatever. A little more useful. Although this would really be an interior function then, or an internal function. Yeah, his point against graceful failure is pretty interesting. Take a dungeon that needs a key to open. The gate doesn't load, so players can access it early because the game gracefully allows that spawn error. Suddenly, players are accomplishing quests getting errors because there's a discontinuity in the game's quest system. Reports come in, says X happens in the dungeon. Dev sees the report, says that's impossible. You can't be in the dungeon. They investigate all sorts of systems before releasing it's a loading error. Yeah. Good developers do code bugs. But yeah, that's funny. Again, they should have caught that when they were debugging in debug mode, because the failure to load should have resulted in a hard crash during debug mode. And then admittedly, based on my principle, if they managed to release the game with that bug still in there, I would have also preferred the graceful failure rather than a hard crash. So I don't know. That's like a testing problem. But that's a good example. I haven't listened to Tim in a while. I should watch some Tim videos this weekend. I like Tim. All right, so this is all a bunch of bullshit that we're doing. Cursor map. Rect2i, vector 2i 0, map size. This is always the same, isn't it? So this should probably just be a thing. We're gonna have an onReady variable, I guess. Oops. We'll say if is cursor in bounds, and we just won't send anything. We'll just say return map bounds dot has point cursor map. Instead of all this nonsense. All right, all of this I don't really care about right now. Fig selected, cursor tiles, focused. Input select. Yeah, in the end, an example won't necessarily be foolproof. It did remind you of some good tips. The argument against errors in debug mode is way simpler and goes, we're 50 people and we need to test the build and you made it crash because Pretty Tree 3 doesn't load. Yeah, but Pretty Tree 3 should load. No, I get it. I don't work on teams. And I'm like the Eye of Sauron. Just alone, just like, I can only look at one thing at a time and focus on one thing at a time. So I do want, if Pretty Tree 3 fails to load, I want to know about it. And I will stop what I'm doing to fix it. But yeah, that's good stuff to think about. I think I'll watch that video. That seems like a good video to watch. But yeah, one of many reasons I don't work on teams. Oh, I need to copy these things over. We're like rebuilding this script. which is why there's such brutal errors. I guess I do want to know what the deployment bounds are. All right, what else is not declared? All of this bullshit. What is all this stuff upset about? Just the fig selected. Actually, I guess I don't. If I want to do the character dragged thing. I don't know how I want to do this part, so we're just gonna not. Just gonna get this out of the way for now. Doing a lot of repair today. You gotta break stuff to reset. The hell is this used for? I guess there should be a, I should do a quick check to make sure that these are going to work the way I expect them to. Yeah, you're going to need some kind of signals. We'll worry about that in a minute. I don't know what the environment manager is going to do. I guess it's responsible mostly for loading in the environment and passing signals up from the environment. And then calling back down to the environment map. And then the map will handle the specific thing. And then in the environment map here, we need some kind of encounter manager that handles the specific encounter data. It loads in like, oh, we're going to load this with this encounter. And that actually makes me wonder if it's a peer of the environment map and not the environment map itself. Maybe it is a peer of the environment map. Maybe it belongs to the environment manager. I'll have to think about that. But I could see it. I could see a situation where what we want is we want to use different encounters on the same map, you know, so I can reuse stuff. Run manager. Okay, run manager doesn't know about the party roster. Oh, these are different. These have different names now. Discard button, draw button. Ready, deck manager, setup. Why doesn't the deck manager handle that stuff? Why do y'all handle this? You should handle this stuff. Oh, maybe not. That's fine. Okay, this doesn't exist anymore. Oops. I'm on a three-letter word kick here. Well, everything's name is just too long. I think normally I don't care. Like when I'm in C#, for some reason I don't care, and I think it has to do with my editor. I'm in Writer, and I have just all this space. But Lord, when I'm in the Godot editor, I'm just like, how much more can I shorten the names of everything? It's kind of a problem. I've got a problem. Maybe it's the .NET influence, yeah. When I'm in .NET, I'm okay making everything super long. I'm okay with super long names. I don't know why. I have the whole window when I'm in Writer for just scripting, but when I'm in Godot, I've only got this itty bitty box. When a typo brings out the designer transaction close event handler, yeah, yeah, it's horrible. I swing pretty hard back and forth between those two modes, where everything needs to be as short as possible, and then I'm like, well, now I don't know what anything means, and then so I swing the other way, and then everything has to be like a German word, like a 20-character long German word. The yellow beanie of the steamship captain sailing down the Danube. Like, that's what I want my class names to be. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. That's I think why I don't care in Writer. Is in Writer I extend my code vertically because I don't count lines. I don't count code lines. I don't think that's a metric of anything. So in Writer I'm like, I've got my curly braces, so I can just extend everything as long as I want. But in GDScript doesn't do that because it's indentation based, and it's hard to split lines. Thornity, chef, cut, descope quicker. Hold on, we're talking about the finer points of code organization in different IDEs. But you're right. How's it going, Thornity? You're not going to be happy. We're having a go slow to go fast kind of day. We're doing some reorganization. Partly because I want to start building the project in the order in which people are actually going to encounter it. Like I want to structure the project to be like, the game loads, the run starts, you pick your cards, you have your first combat, you pick your new cards. Like I've been working in a sandbox just to try to prove out some stuff, and I hate it. I hate working in the sandbox. I've been making mistakes because I've been forgetting about the context of the player. So we're trying to reorganize things so that we can just start checking stuff off so that the player can actually start interacting with shit, and we can see what the player's experience will actually be like. Whatever gets playtest quicker. We're trying. That's what we're trying. We're pivoting towards that. There's some reorganization that's happening to make that happen. I don't know how you manage it, because you're cooking on like, what, 3 or 4 different games at the same time? I don't know how you do it. I struggle to focus on one. Codex? Ah, I see. I see. That explains a lot. I don't think that's an option for me. Core OS takes care of your life. Hey, you know, that's not bad. You wrote the tool, it sends everything to your watch. That's very clever. You remind me of Jor-El. You're like I'm like Superman, and I go down to Antarctica, and there's this hologram of Jor-El, and is like, I have thought of everything you could ever possibly ask me, and I've already formulated an answer. The thought hammer over here, Thornity Co. All right, what am I fucking doing? Oh yeah, I'm reconnecting some of this stuff. We need the environment manager. We need... I wonder if the run manager should do some of the signal hookups. Probably not. Opposition manager, party manager. I think that's everything I need at the moment. Who is gonna... Oh, there's probably gonna be a turn manager, huh? Yes, indeed. I wonder if I just put him down here. Oh, let's get to that later. Let's not worry about that. That doesn't matter right now. All right, let's start seeing some crashes. Yes. Show me the crashes. Who is this? Party manager. Party wrecked. Have you been renamed party roster? I think you have. Preview button, not disabled. Discard pile. Oh, you have a different name. Since Godot doesn't give me these nice compile time errors, I just keep running the project until I run out of errors. This is my process. Godot doesn't really let me do better. You don't have a nice writer thing, like rename this variable in every single script. Node not found, player hand, preview hand. Okay, easy. Go back up here. We're doing a lot of separation of concern stuff today, which is good. Good. This is off center. Why are you off center like this? Oh, are you scaled by 2? You should be. You're not. You need to be. Well, somebody needs to be. Actually, somebody is. If it's not you, then who is it? Somebody's scaling you up already. You must be scaled up. Why are you off center like this? Ah, here it is. You're scaled up 1 here. Oh, are you scaled up 2 here? Yes. Okay, good. Okay. Now we just need to recenter this thing. We just need to go back by 32, right? So this becomes 144. This becomes 32. That doesn't look quite right. Oh, maybe it is. Well, let's turn off your stupid your collision shape. I don't want to see you. I'm a little concerned this collision shape is just going to eat input. Oh yeah, I didn't actually fix the player hand preview hand. Fusionist. Saw that interview months ago of Thornity. Oh yeah, Thornity is the thought hammer. Thornity thinks so that we don't have to. No, I'm just kidding. Thornity is the one who encouraged me to change my direction. To pause my dream game and actually try to do something. Try to get a game out. Codex of the Thought Hammer. You're just... Okay. You're just gravity. Bringing the hammer down. You're the executioner, not the axe. Whatever. Whatever version makes sense. This white versus gray script thing is driving me insane. I want to fix it, but I know I will lose so much information if I fix it by deleting a node and then adding it back, so I'm not going to do it right now. I'll do that later when no one's looking. Why are you both responsible for doing this? Fascinating. That's fine. Being convincing is one of his qualities. All right, so we got a mouse entered and we got mouse exited. So it's working this way. It's not working this way for some reason. Why is it all the way out to here? Okay, something is eating the input. I guess I don't need to do that. I wanted to have like a simple signal to handle that, but I actually think that's making things worse. Because it's not like we aren't still doing the boundary check. It would have just meant skipping a boundary check, but you know what? Forget it. There's so much UI stuff layering in here that I have to be careful. I have to be careful about not going too crazy. And it'll just be easier to not do it this way. That's fine. That's fine. This is an area I can compromise in. I'm taking the, we were talking about like code structure and stuff earlier, Fusionist. I'm really taking the Jonas, I never pronounce his name right, Tyroller approach to code structure, which is like an individual model can, an individual module can be as like gross and spaghettified as you want, as long as the connections between the modules are super clean and all of that complexity is encapsulated in the module. I'm really taking that model to heart because otherwise I go crazy. But if I can at least like I don't mind if the environment map has this crazy like process per frame, like nonsense it's doing every frame, as long as no one else has to care about it. As long as anyone else that needs to concerned about this just gets a nice clean signal whenever all of the conditions are met. That's how I've been staying sane. Because that way, sometimes you fail, and sometimes, you know, your module is just an absolute nightmare. And that's okay. You just move on. You come back to it if you have time. These are the wrong consts here. Actually, maybe I did like this better like that. I want a single tile outlines tile map layer is what I want. I'm having a hard time achieving that. Can you repeat the start of that? You'd written down notes about the interview. Checking whether or not some were little. Oh, nice. Oh, I was just saying, I heard this from Jonas Tyroller, and I like the school of thought that says a module can be as like spaghettified and nasty as it has to be to like achieve the goal, as long as no other module needs to care about that, and you just keep each module. You keep the connections between modules clean, but you just try not to go too crazy organizing each individual module, because some of the spaghetti is just the reality of things. And you could engineer your way around it, but like we need to move quick. So I'm trying to do both. I'm trying to like be comfortable with like the horrible individual modules I'm making, but I'm also trying to keep them like abstracted and cleaned up enough that they can very cleanly signal to each other, and like each one doesn't care about the complexity of the other. Like hiding that complexity, I like doing that. I'm not a big like OOP person, but Godot kind of encourages you to do some of that stuff. I really don't like this vocal segment at the end of this. It's just muddled. Somebody's just talking in the background. What is this guy even talking about? Okay, looks like we're getting closer. Oh, I do need to rename these things. I went a little overboard shortening the names of these. I still want to combine them into one, but I'm gonna bite my tongue on this. Just accept this for now. You're in the same boat. You see OOP as a way to pretty quickly, efficiently encapsulate distribute code logic. Even though it's not so much OOP as it is using the inheritance feature. Yeah, I don't do a lot of inheritance. There's one area that I feel like I wish I did inheritance, which is that the character sheets and the equipment pages have a lot of the same behavior, and I really wish I had created them in a way that they could actually share the behavior instead of just creating separate implementations. I might go back and introduce a concept, some kind of base class concept for them. Because I know I'm going to want even more of these pages. I'm going to want like an ability page, which will be like maybe different. Although maybe it won't be different than an equipment page. But yeah, okay. So we don't have any errors, but we also can't do anything. The end turn button is not hooked up anymore for some reason. Let's fix that. Rest, right? Whose job is it to know this? Probably the run manager? I don't know why. Deck manager. Actually, we're making a turn manager. I'm doing it. My editor's frozen. There we go. There was one of these I wanted, and it's not here. It's okay. Use one of these. Use this one. Okay, so the turn manager is going to receive this. The turn manager is going to do this. The turn manager does not know about deck manager. I guess it can. I guess there's no reason it can't. They're peers after all. I know I said I didn't want that, but I didn't want them to talk directly to each other, but this is probably simple enough. So you don't know about this. I'm going to make, I've got deal. I've got discard hand. I might rename this to deal hand. Actually, it's generic. So deal hand would just be... Deal is fine. Discard is also fine. I think discard should be an array of cards. An array of card. We can say if... Well, if the player hand is empty, well, oh, this is the hand. This is specifically the hand. I think if discard, if you don't submit an array, I think it's going to say if cards.is empty, then we just discard the whole hand. Otherwise, we're going to discard specific cards. It's probably fine. Call this discard and draw. Discard and deal. Actually, we're gonna hack this for now. Clear. Maybe we don't hack this. Maybe we have turn manager signal. Say next turn. We'll have next turn and we'll have a signal new round. Right now we'll just treat a turn as a round because we haven't set that up yet. So all the characters will take turns, and then when the last character has taken their turn, we'll set a new round. We'll go to a new round. Is what we're going to do. So this way, when we can say on end turn button pressed, instead we can just say next turn.emit. For now. And then the deck manager can listen. Can listen for that signal. So we're going to connect this to the deck manager. We're going to say on turn manager next turn. Just say on next turn. Now we can say something like deal. Well, we can say discard, then deal. And the run manager can at least start us off. And then you're going to not do this anymore. And then same thing with this. We're not going to do this card preview clear thing anymore either. You don't need to know about that. You don't need to know about that. Maybe you need to know about these, so I'll leave these for now. Oh, I don't think you need to know about any of these. Maybe you do. No, you don't. You don't need to know about this either. The run manager should only be concerned with run things. Although it does need to know about the deck manager. I'll leave these for now. Okay, the deck manager. So we got next turn is hooked up to the deck manager. We also want to hook the next turn up to the... Whose job is it going to be to set those? Probably the deck manager. So we'll say this. So the deck manager... Oh, the deck manager does know about these. Draw pile, discard pile. It doesn't know about the buttons, though. Who should know about those? Right now, what we have is on-card pile preview. We have on-player hand card dragged. So for some reason, the preview is the one doing... Oh, of course the preview is the one doing this. Never mind. We'll route this here. Next turn. Preview. I kind of want to reset. Funk. Reset card preview. Say discard button. Set press no signal false. Why are we setting visible for the whole preview hand? Oh, I understand. I understand what we're doing. Draw button. Set press to no signal false. Actually run this. And that's the simplest thing we could do. So now we can say on card pile preview null false. That should work. player hand card draw doesn't seem to be hooked up, which is weird. These back up a little different. Hey, Hex, how's it going? On-card preview. Oh, the buttons. The buttons trigger this. Whoa, why are you hooked up to the piles? Oh, because the piles need to know. Right, right. So you're hooked up to the piles. And then the piles. Card pile preview, on card pile preview, card preview. Preview button toggled. Oh, there's the preview button hooked up here? I see. Disconnect these. Briefly. All good, you? How's the party wipe? Oh, we are wiping. I'll tell you. That's definitely the case. No, we're doing okay. We're doing some reorganization. I've been working in like a sandbox. So I've been working in a sandbox testing like card interactions and like trying to think about movement and action and like character action on the board and everything. I'm kind of sick of it, and I realized I wasn't building the project with the structure that I would actually use to like run the game. So I'm doing some reorganization so we can do it like that. Because I like doing it that way. I like just being like, here's how let's model the golden path. Let's develop off of that. Instead of just having this, because I realized I was starting to make mistakes because I was operating in this sandbox, and I didn't realize, I didn't think about how like, well, would this ever actually happen to the player? Like, would there ever been a situation where something like this would occur? And it's like, no, they wouldn't. So why am I? So yeah, I'm trying to refocus a little so that we can set that up hopefully as soon as possible. It's a little redundant right now because it's like there's not going to be a main menu to load yet. There's not really going to be cards to pick in terms of like choose your party or whatever. So we're going to like skip a lot of steps, but I still want to follow this structure. Sorry, I just like whacked the microphone. So we're just working on that. I think it's going to be all right. We're going to have a long stream tomorrow because it's an observed holiday and I have the day off. So hopefully we can take a crack at setting the rest of that stuff up. So today I'm kind of just, hopefully it's a manageable detour. I think so. I started it last night and we're most of the way through it. Everything was kind of on equal footing with everything else, but now we have it more set up where the game can swap out the run. So if we start a new run, we can replace the whole run scene and anything that has to do with a run. And then same thing, beneath the run is the environment. So we can swap out the environment. And then inside an environment, there might be different encounters. We can just swap out encounters. So I've switched to a more tiered system that should hopefully let us swap in and out different scenes, and things are less concerned about. There's more of a hierarchy, and things are less concerned about things outside their domain. It adds a little more indirection in terms of like stuff has to signal up farther or call down farther, instead of it just being kind of like a melee of like peers. So it's a little bit more work to set up. We also need to set up things like an input queue. Because right now I've just been operating on raw input, and I realize this is a both a turn-based game and a card game. So we actually need to record actions. If not raw input, we need to at least need to record how that stuff is interpreted, so that we can have like an undo redo queue and stuff like that. So that you can, if you decide you didn't want to play that card, you can just undo it. Or if you decide you made a mistake with your move, you can just undo it. I don't know about the Into the Breach, because Into the Breach lets you once per encounter totally reset a turn. And I have to go back and listen to some of their interviews and try to understand why they did that. Because I was going to just gate undo redos per turn. So like within a character's turn, you can undo back to the start of their turn. Oh, you know why it is? I think why it is because all the characters in your squad go in one turn. And then all the characters in the enemy squad go in one turn. It's not the system we have here, which is more like the Baldur's Gate D&D style timeline of like one character goes, then the next character goes, then the next character goes. Maybe that's why they do it. How are you doing? What have you been up to? Were you doing Little Doctor games, Jam? I think there's only a few days left in that. I'm having a hard time holding it all together. Why do I have it check is empty if I'm handling container being empty? It seems kind of silly. I'm just gonna make this true. We're gonna go back here. We actually do need to call this on card pile preview. Actually, let's have an internal function that's like func clear card pile preview. You can just say card preview. Cards. Oh, there's no indent. I was like, why is that an error? I get it. Nothing much. You quit your job? Hell yeah. That's great. I mean, it sounds like it was your choice, so that's great. Oh, we can't set press no signal for all of these, can we? It doesn't actually work, does it? how we're going to do this. You have your choice. You've been working there for almost 11 years. Oh, damn. Good job getting out. That's very exciting. I guess we're going to make this an internal function. No, I actually want people to maybe occasionally be able to call that from the outside. All right, how's the rest of this go? So let's disconnect this to reconnect it to the preview. Let's reconnect this one. You got any fun stuff coming up? You got savings for about a year of trying to make it? Hell yeah. Do you have something in mind? I'm hopefully on a track to make a game in a year. That's what the goal. Committed to putting out a Steam demo by the end of the year here. I'm not brave as you. And by brave, I mean I don't have any money in my bank account, so I couldn't quit my job and go for a year. So that's awesome that you're in a position to do that. I'm going to be just moonlighting. Whoa, why did I put it there? What is wrong with me? Rather errant signal connection going on here. Here we go. Let's connect it to the right spot here. On card pile preview. Okay, I think this is gonna be okay. And you know about this, you know about all of this stuff. Okay, I think I just hooked that all up correctly. He said very confidently. End turn button pressed. Next turn dot emit. Oh, this isn't hooked up to anything. Gotta do it. Why is there a script to the end turn button? Why? But why exactly? I'm gonna get rid of that. I don't think we need that. Not everything needs a script. So, save. Delete. Yeah, game obviously. Yeah, moonlighting is a bit much. I'm exhausted. I work 30-something hours in both on game. I work like 30-something hours on game dev, and I work like 30-something hours on my day job. And then there's time on top of that, like I do commute occasionally. I'm probably gonna have to commute more next year. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough finding the time. Time to move on anyway. That's great. I'm very happy for you. I can't wait to see what you're working on. On end turn button pressed to the turn manager. Okay, now that's hooked up. You're gonna hopefully try to go down to 4 days LSG. Yeah, I don't do the 4 days thing, unfortunately. Because I need this time for streaming. I just cut a few hours out of each day. I've been lucky enough. I know I'm tremendously lucky to even be in a position to do that. To take a few hours during the afternoon here and do a stream. But yeah, I couldn't afford to work less. We're just going to do what we can. We've got our first playtest. What did I say? 7. Oh, I hit the show desktop button. I don't know why that button exists. I never want to do that. I was trying to look at my calendar. I think I said 7 weeks about... Yeah, about 7 weeks till our first in-person playtesting. I'd like to get some of you to try the game out before then. Definitely need to get it to Thornity before then. And then I think I'll have no audio. I think my goal is to have a no audio build of the game by that first playtesting event in 7 weeks. And then the next playtesting event in 11 weeks. So 4 weeks from that 7 weeks. I think I will try to add audio. So we'll try to get audio in that month. Because this first playtesting event is in a bar. It's in like a barcade, and it's like a big playtesting event that we put on once a quarter. Local game dev collective here does. I usually just bring game jam games, and I kind of just fuck around. I don't take it seriously, but this is the first time I'm going to be bringing something where I'm actually going to be like paying attention to what people are doing. But it's this loud environment, so I'm like, why bother to put audio? So I think sometime between those 2 dates is when we're going to put the build up on the web. So that's, you know, sometime between 7 and 11 weeks from now, we'll have a public build available. It's not a lot of time. I need to write a schedule so that I actually have like a couple sprint calendars that I can follow along with. Because I like working open-ended, but man, that falls apart as soon as you have deadlines. I need to see what needs to be done to make this happen. Yeah. We're trying to be pretty aggressive. Demo out before the end of the year, the goal. All right, so no more crashes. What does the end turn button do? What if I put this up? Okay, that doesn't do anything. That just... This... Oh, this is supposed to be a toggle. Right. So why didn't that work? Button. Oh, I didn't hook up any of these signals. The DOI. This is to on preview button toggled. Okay. This one up. I prefer just this way, the way of signaling, the way of just like... I'm gonna say on preview button toggled. I guess it could have been... I guess I could call it something else. This is discard pile. Yeah, this is fine. Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy, Dave. Deadlines suck, but they are good. Party wipe going to be GD script. Oh yeah, all GD script. For one, this initial build I'm talking about, this needs to be a web build. Up until we put the game on Steam as a demo, we need a web build. So yeah, GD script. GD script all the way here. I don't see a reason why I need to do this in C#. The only reason I did my other project in C# was because I split the simulation and the rendering layers. And it helped me to have the simulation be like physically outside the GD script, the like Godot scene tree GD script API ecosystem, and just be my own thing. that I managed. That's why we ended up with like an ECS and all that bullshit, right? All right, take it easy, Fusionist. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a nice weekend here. I don't know if it's a holiday weekend for you, but hope you have a good one either way. All right, okay. Card preview is back. End turn, card cycling is back. If I bring up the preview and I end the turn, it stops. If I preview the deck, it stops. If I start a card drag, it stops. Okay, most of the signals seem to be back. Nothing in terms of getting cards onto the board. Gotta hook that stuff back up now. Okay, we're getting back. We're getting back. The structure is going to be better. It's going to be better. It's going to be better for us in the long run to have all of this. What are your defaults? Okay, good. Oh no, the card deck will get built out during the run, right? That's good. That's correct. I'm really enjoying these stupid custom editor icons. It's so dumb, but I'm enjoying it a lot. Saying you just installed it. It's too much fun. Yeah. It's a distraction, but it's a fun one. All right. Okay, so now we need the environment manager and the environment map to talk more, which means looking at our battle map layer and taking some of these signals. I do think I like this idea. Yeah, it is nice. I like this idea of using the click drag. Because we were setting it up so that the tile tokens, like the character tokens and stuff, were gonna be, you'd click on them and that would select them, and then you would cursor around and you'd click again to do something. I think I want to use the same card drag style. I think I want to do the same card drag stuff. But for token movement around the board. So you'll click and drag your token to move it around. And I think the way ability use will be, or item use, is you'll click on some item in your character sheet like you click on your sword or something. You'll click on your sword token will show up on your guy, and then maybe you can click drag that token, and then apply that token to another tile, and that's how you do like attacks and stuff, or actions. I think that'd be neat. I can think of ways that would work to let you do stuff more flexibly in terms of interacting directly with the roster instead of playing things on the battle map. But we're going to do it that way for now. Mainly because of the card plugin that I'm not in control of. So what I need to know about is I need to know about these 3 signals. These are the important signals. The card token, added, freed, and spent. So that is going to be part of the environment map. And there's going to be some signal chaining. There's going to need to be some signal chaining here. So we have to resolve most of this now. I don't know if I have time to do that right now. But this is what we're going to need to do. We're going to need to emit these signals, and then let's go up to the environment manager, and we'll just signal chain. The only real question is... No, that's not a real question. So we'll signal chain. So you will subscribe to all of these. On environment map, card token added. Is that too long or is that fine? Let's just say on card token added. Card token freed. And card token spent. I think we're going to have a different kind of token to refer to like equipment tokens or ability tokens or character tokens or whatever. Or like, I might just call them tile tokens, but like tokens that aren't associated with cards, they're associated with things on the character. I think we'll use that to provide a more unified way of moving things around. Hex, you're sometimes thinking about doing some custom icons. I just grabbed the at icons add-on. It's got like 1,000 icons in each of the 4 colors, and it's been pretty nice so far. It's provided a very simple, cheap way to just add a little variety to the tile, the scene tree. Kind of nice. And it's one of those things where it really doesn't like bloat the actual built project, but it's just a nice thing while you're here. Like the game manager has a little D20 as its icon, which is fun, I think. The run manager has this like cycle thing. I think the turn manager could have had that one too, but I think it's kind of fun. It's so stupid. It's such a stupid waste of time, but it's fun. I don't care. I don't even care. Here's the card token. Added, emit, signal chaining. I used to not like signal chaining. I used to just signal straight up to like a global, to like an auto load or something. I don't mind signal chaining as much nowadays. Okay, so now we bubbled up these signals far enough up here that the peers of the environment manager, aka like the party manager and the opposition manager, can subscribe to them. You gotten another desktop idler recently? Oh, Bongo Cat. All right, let's take a look. Ten out of 10. 27,000 reviews. Okay, this seems huge. You be making one of these. Co-op multiplayer update. What the fuck is this game? Oh, it just bongos whenever you provide some kind of input, like keyboard input. Counts your mouse and key presses. Oh, nice. And you get items and shit. Damn. Why can't we make one of these? You got cosmetics. That's so great. I was working on an idler before this. Let it be said, I was working on a desktop idler. I saw how cool and how neat these were, but it was gonna take way too long for me to make all the content. They're so content heavy. Oh my god, well, look at this one. Oh, this is free to play. And what you buy packs? Oh my god. Well, that explains why so many people have played this. But incredible. And they just sell the cats. Genius. Genius. Ooh, I should look at their item drop pool chances. I need to research item pool drop rates. So what is this? 90%, 9.5%, 0.49%, 0.01%, and then some impossibly small number. Neat. I need to look at this. I need to think about card drop rates in my game. I don't think I can go this crazy. But we could probably get pretty crazy. Hey, Brave, you're taking a break from working on a deck builder to come vibe here? Hell yeah. You're catching us towards the end of today's stream. We'll probably only go in a little bit longer here. I have to get back to my day job, unfortunately, but I have tomorrow off, so we're going to do a double tomorrow. We're going to do a nice long holiday stream tomorrow. You're so over, game dev. You're burnt out. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. Yeah, we're working on a different kind of take, which is we're doing a roguelike deck builder where you draft your party. So you have characters and you have equipment and stuff like that. And the cards are all the nouns. And then you play out the battles on a little turn-based battle map environment. So we're kind of flipping the formula a little bit. So the cards are the nouns, and then all the verbiage is in the battle map. We'll see. It's definitely different. Whether anyone, cares is another thing. Whether it's fun is an open question. But that's awesome. What kind of roguelike deck builder are you cooking up over there? All right, so I was gonna connect these signals, wasn't I? On environment manager, card token added. Let's just say card token added. Actually, what did I call this here? I just call it card token added. Let's just do that. We don't need to go crazy with the naming. Card token freed. Let's put it on the right scene, at least, or the right script, at least. You're working on a commission project, one themed with a monster collector vibe. Ooh. Passives that change cards. I don't think it has Steam storefront or anything yet. Okay, okay. You can capture enemies, and when your monsters die, they're gone forever. They have mini quote-unquote decks that your player character is like, they die, you lose. Ooh, that's rough. They have their own decks as well, but they work like a supported player. You prefer to work on JRPG style games or to creative work rigging? Okay, that sounds interesting. Yeah, we don't have a super crazy death model in this game. In this game, when you level up a card, like when a character levels up, you get to keep the higher level card. And if the character dies, you just discard all of the cards that went into that character. Except for what's been leveled up. What's been leveled up gets to... What went into the level up gets trashed, and you just get the higher level cards to, like, thin the deck. And then so the punishment is really just, like, you lose the character on the board, them and all of their equipment goes back into the discard, and you all have to draw them back out. And then you'd lose whatever fractional XP they have. Like, if a character was, like, halfway to the next level, they'd lose that XP. But you'd get the cards back that you were using to level them up. So I don't want to do, like, crazy ultra hard death mode. I'm kind of rejecting, like, the Darkest Dungeon style. We'll see if that makes death trivial or not. We'll see if it's the right balance. It's punishing, but you don't mind investing in. Yeah, so the danger, it's not devastating to, like, lose one character. Like, you can fight your way back. The danger is in the party wipe, which is the name of the game. So if you lose if all of your characters on the board die, the game's over. So it's like there's a tension between, you know, making strategic moves versus tactical moves, playing for the moment versus, like, improving the strength of your party long term. Having enough equipment that you can switch gears if you're, like, you were fighting something that was resistant to one type of damage and now you need to fight something else. Yeah, the balancing seems challenging. It seems interesting. Hey, Bryce Tattoos, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. You're having a fine day. Seems interesting without being too complex. We're hoping to hit that sweet spot. Because this is meant to be kind of a snack. Like, it's not supposed to be a huge game. It specifically was conceived of as a small game, but I think the amount of content that is going to be required, it belies that. But we'll see. We're trying to make a small game. We're trying to put a Steam demo out by the end of the year. I shouldn't use the word try. We are doing these things. You're just getting into game dev and Godot, Bryce? ADHD makes your short-term memory so bad. It's mad hard to learn. Yeah, I see that as being a problem more and more nowadays. I think the world just makes it hard to focus and learn. Interesting to see a project this large. It's supposed to be small. It's supposed to be a small game. But yeah, I've only got some of the card interaction stuff. We did a big refactor today, and I'm not done, so I can't really show you much beyond just the art and stuff. I need to finish the rest of this refactor tonight that lets us play the cards. But I can show you maybe some of the art, like the way that'll work out, like where the character sheet's at. Just drink water. That's an important requirement. That's definitely an important requirement. So, like, you'll have characters. This is not a knight. Let me open one that's actually correct. It actually shows the right things. So, like, you'll have characters, they'll have equipment slots. They'll have ability slots, too, that unlock as they level up. Don't worry about the colored text here. That was just a color test. This is the lowest level character, so they have, like, really shitty card backs. But it should be interesting. Should be interesting. We got a lot of gear. We got a lot of abilities in mind. It should be interesting to manage this stuff. Can I actually just, could I have just shown the scene instead? I probably could have done that. Instead of the raw art. Here it is. So yeah, they'll level up. They'll get more access to more abilities. Their stats will improve. Their gear can level up. So hopefully it'll be interesting dynamics. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to solo dev Brave Ambition. I feel that. There, it looks wicked. Oh yeah. Here's the trick. Here's the trick to make a game this large. Don't try to do everything yourself. You find you can still make time to enjoy games as well? Not often. I do need to spend some time playing Into the Breach. Maybe today or tomorrow. Definitely this weekend. I need to look more at how they do their character movement and how their interface looks when they do it. Yeah, the trick is don't do everything yourself. So all of these sprites come from an asset pack. And I built the UI, so I like made the cards and the menus and stuff, but we're using a card plugin called Simple Cards, so I didn't have to invent all of this card interaction stuff either. Like, that's what I've learned from solo dev, is like cut corners where you can. You can't do everything. If you try to do everything, you'll never finish. So pick your battles. Pick your battles very, very wisely. Don't try to do it all. It won't work. It's tough to do. It's tough to do. As you transition more into making games, you will not have time to play them very often. It's a little rough, but it's life. It's life a little bit. It's fine. You'll start to get really specific questions, and then you'll go look at a game and be able to answer it. You'll look at games differently. Like, I've played a ton of Into the Breach, but I don't remember how they do certain things, and I need to go back and look with just a specific designer's eye. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you both for coming in here. You're catching me at the end. I gotta get back to work. And by work, I mean like my day job. But I don't work tomorrow, so we're gonna do a double. We're gonna have a big, nice long stream tomorrow, so maybe I'll see some of you there. I want to say thank you all so much for watching. I hope you can all have a great rest of your day. Good luck in your game dev journeys, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.